Sharing with real estate agents how to grill loan officers, this
setting expectations, there's maybe...
And we all know rate is important, right? Because that is a part of the calculation, but is that the only thing? So, hey everybody, Sean here. Welcome to the Renown Mortgage Podcast. We are so excited you are here from sunny Seattle, Washington, if you are somewhere else in the nation and you're feeling something else today. So as always, we are here with our founder and CEO, Justice Roberts. Justice, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here with you today, Sean. Yes, we are enjoying the perfect June weather. I mean, I think this is the clearest June that I've seen in a long time. We got a little bit of clouds on the horizon, but it's going to go right back to sun. I know it.
We got a couple of days of rain too. So I'm personally excited because we have a charitable organization that my family is a part of, and we run a fireworks stand. And so having a little bit of rain is always good before fireworks season, so people don't get nervous. So yeah, we're excited about that. But speaking of fireworks, so new Fed chair, new meetings, new things going on, inventory still holding at really, really high rates if we compare it to the last several years. So buyer flexibility is coming in, and the Fed kind of signaling really what almost even the previous Fed administration was saying, hey, we're going to tell you something without really telling you everything. Justice, kind of what was your take? What was your takeaway from our new Fed chair's inaugural meeting? And what does it mean to the just average home buyer, average refinance considerer, or just anyone who's thinking about stepping into this housing market in any way?
Yeah, I would say that, Kevin Warsh took command in his first press conference, and he is clearly setting up his own tone and going, hey, this is what it is that I'm planning on, how I'm planning on running this based off of the Fed commentary. I mean, there was anything from like 8 paragraphs down to 2, and he was like, this is, we're going to get right to the point of what it is that we're going to be doing. We're going to basically be on top of inflation. And, I would say that, to keep things short and brief, he basically was like, hey, we're not going to give any forward guidance. We may see a lot of things in the future where the Fed is going to be behind a little bit more closed doors instead of out in the public, which is what, in previous iterations, years in the past, that has been the case for some really successful Fed chairs and, the Fed as a whole fulfilling on their mandate. And so we'll see how that kind of plays out, but definitely, for the forward looking guidance, he was very clear that like, hey, reporters are like, hey, so based off of that, where does that put us? And he's like, so that would be forward guidance, which I already said that we're not going to be giving. So so I'm not going to answer that question. And he has 5 different task groups that he's set out to basically look at some different areas of inflation, or I guess the market, employment, things like that. And based on what he's doing, I think that he's going to be buying himself some time. I think the subtle story that I hear and what it is that what I feel like I'm learning is that he's going to give himself all the way through the end of the year to keep rates steady. I mean, what we saw from a lot of other Fed governors that, filled out their dot plot and said, hey, we think that we're going to hike in the future. Kevin Warsh decided to not participate in that. He was like, I think this is dumb. This is forward guidance, which we don't do. So I'm not going to participate in that. And I think that we'll start to slowly see some of that stuff get pulled away over the course of the next several meetings. But all that to say, I think from a Fed perspective, I think he's bought himself some time to keep rates steady, which I think, given what we're seeing that's happening geopolitically, Strait of Hormuz opening, inflation, which is actually some really good stuff there. I think that we're going to see, with the Fed holding steady, I think we're going to see interest rates improve at least moderately. But, we'll obviously see what happens. But I think from, tying back to your other question with, buying or refinancing, I think that you've got a little bit of a steady rating environment for the next little bit, with some potential upside. And so I think that if you're refinancing, figuring out what your strike rate is, figuring out when the market hits that point for you, that's what you want to figure out. And if you're a home buyer right now, like, I'd be jumping in while the getting's good.
Yeah, no, the options right now that are available to the home buyer are just as good as they've ever been. Hey, everybody, hope you are enjoying the podcast. Listen, real quick, If refinancing, purchasing, or investing is in your future, or you think it's like not even within your ballpark to do it, we would absolutely love to have a conversation with you here at Renown Mortgage. We care about what matters to you. This is possibly the largest investment that a family can ever make, and we want to be here for you. Comment below or don't hesitate to reach out. Now let's get back to that podcast. I think right now, if you're looking for closing costs or you're looking for some of those things to be done on a property that you were looking at, and you thought, well, we're going to go ahead and take the roof as is, you might be able to have a conversation that you weren't able to have a couple of years ago. So I think that's absolutely, I 100% agree. And we won't touch on it too big right now because this is brand new. Obviously, yesterday, the government started talking about a new housing bill. And so we're going to talk about that. We'll probably jump into that next week or the weeks to come once that goes through. A lot of people, as usual, start to say that this means things that it doesn't actually mean, limiting investors from buying properties. Now no investors can buy properties anymore. That's not exactly what that means at all. And so there's just a lot of things that are happening in this housing market. What would you say right now, just kind of as we land this plane today, just, the most important thing is getting prepared, but what does preparation look like? I think sometimes getting prepared even seems, we were talking to a client yesterday who was just filling out the application, felt like they were just jumping off the cliff. But, one of our loan officers was talking to him, walking him through it, and it's like, oh, this isn't so bad after all. But their hesitation was the unknown, and we can't fill this out. Talk to me a little bit about that. Like maybe bring the mystique down to what it is just to get prepared. What does getting prepared start with when you're talking about, stepping your foot into this situation, into the housing?
I would say from a buyer getting prepared, it's you're literally arming yourself with knowledge. Like
Absolutely.
this is what it is that you're doing. You are arming yourself with knowledge of not only what's happening in the market, but what your financial situation looks like. And who doesn't want to actually have a clear view of what your options are? You're
100,
not making a decision on
right?
anything today. You're not buying a house today. We're not closing on a deal today. We're
Right.
looking and exploring and understanding options so that you can make an educated decision. And I feel like that's what you're doing, and that there's so much value in before you're jumping in, actually knowing what you're agreeing to, knowing what your options are, and kind of like, test driving something before you actually drive it, so to speak.
Right. Right. Absolutely. No, I think that's absolutely great. We're going to land the plane right there as normal. This is just our time to connect with you, give you some information that is hopefully empowering and encouraging. And if you or someone is thinking about stepping their foot into the housing market, thinking about it, not thinking about it because they don't even think they qualify, it always starts with a conversation. And we are here at Renown to have those conversations with you. So, hey, next week is the 4th of July. So we will still be here. We're going to do a video, and maybe it'll be a fun 4th of July video, maybe naming our favorite fireworks or whatnot. But until then, have an absolutely amazing week. We'll talk to you later.